it can be replaced by a number, and it represents a number. Now today we're going to look at using variables in algebra in word problems. So if I can have the person from the first seat in every row, please come get one of these for each members of your row. Thank you. All right. When you get those sheets, silently please, make sure you put your name on the top. I want to see everybody's name on the top of those sheets. Then we'll fill out these sheets together. I want to see everybody's name at the top of these sheets. All right. Okay, so again, today we're going to translate words into algebraic expressions using one variable. So again, a variable represents a number, and it can be replaced by a number. So we're going to put our detective hats on again today. We're going to say, what do these numbers mean, and how can we find them? So we're going to have a missing value. We're going to have to think like detectives, think how we can solve for that value. So quickly, 10 seconds. I want everybody's name at the top of the sheet, please. Everybody's name. We're looking at this sheet right here that has this chart. So Dejan, I want to see your name. Excellent. Name. All right. So we said that first, before we go into our objective today, we have to define our vocabulary words so we actually understand what we're doing here. So again, our objective is to translate words into algebraic expressions using one variable. So look under our vocabulary. I want everybody to follow along with me. So this is our first box that we're looking at. All right. So James, you know the answer. So a variable. What is a variable? A letter. Excellent. So I want everybody to fill this in. You have 20 seconds to fill in the word letter. So a variable is a letter that represents and can be replaced by a number. What's cool about this is that you can put any letter you want to. It's a letter that represents a number, just like we talked about 2 plus x. In this case, the x represents the number 3. And we can switch it out with that number 3. So a variable is a letter that represents and can be replaced by a number. All right, so everybody has that filled in. An algebraic expression. That's two pretty big words. So an algebraic expression is an expression, or what we say an algebraic term, or a mathematical term that does not have an equal sign. All right, so 5 times x, or 3 times 2 would be called an expression because it does not have an equal sign. So an algebraic expression is an expression that contains at least one variable. So for our purposes, what we want to make sure is that when we're writing these algebraic expressions, please fill this in, is that we're writing something and we want to make sure there's a variable in it. So we're going to be writing expressions and equations with variables inside of them. So just like this one right here, 2 plus x equals 5. All right, so remember how we did pop up, pop down? So you have all these filled in. Please pop up. You have all of your letters filled in. Number 1 and 2. All right, now pop down. Thank you. All right, so a variable is a letter that represents and can be replaced by a number. Algebraic expression is an expression that contains at least one variable. That's the important thing. Okay, so let's take a look at our example here. We'll go through the steps of how to solve one of these problems using our example. So in our example, Ashton has some money in his pocket. He's going to go get some chips at nutrition time. He has some money in his pocket, and all right. So Ashton has some money in his pocket for nutrition. You don't know how much money he has in his pocket. All we know is that he's got some change in his pocket. Now Jordan is such a nice guy, and Jordan gives him 50 cents. Yeah, all right, so Jordan gives him 50 cents. So now Ashton has the original amount of money in his pocket, plus the 50 cents that Jordan gave him. Then we're asked, so with this money, this is teacher time now. Please respect, I have the floor, we'll get through this, and then we'll be able to do a fun activity. All right, so he has, after Jordan gave him 50 cents, Ashton now has $1.60. So he has $1.60 altogether. Now we're asked to write an equation to find the original amount of money, represented by the variable m, that he had in his pocket originally. So if you look here, you can follow along with the problem that we're doing. So step one. First of all, we always remember that we read the word problem carefully. Sometimes it helps to read it twice or to underline or highlight certain key words. So step one here, after we've read it, we identify the numbers you know and the value you don't know. So again, the value that you don't know is called the variable. So you have 20 seconds to fill in the word variable. So again, step one, identify the numbers you know and the value you don't know, which is also known as the variable. Excellent. Fill that in. Okay, so in this case, if I were solving this problem, I would say, all right, the numbers I know. I know that Jordan gave him 50 cents. So Jordan gave 50 cents. Dijon. You need to follow along, please. Okay, so Jordan gave 50 cents. He's on. I'm going to ask you to go sit at that table right over there. At the end over there. Bring your paper. Sit at that desk over there. Thank you. So Jordan gave 50 cents. So we know that Jordan gave Ashton 50 cents. We also know that Ashton, he's on, eyes up here, please. Ashton has $1.60 total. All right, I want everybody to fill that in. So these are the numbers that we know. We know that Ashton received 50 cents from Jordan. So Jordan gave him 50 cents. And we know that at the end of the day, when Ashton goes out to buy those chips, he has $1.60 total. So those are the numbers we know. Now the variable in this case, the problem actually gives us. So it says in our problem, write an equation that Ashton can use to find the original amount of money, represented by the letter M, that he had in his pocket. So in this case, we have the variable M that represents how much money Ashton had originally in his pocket. Okay, so again, the variable that we're looking for, it says it right in our problem. It says, find the original, use an equation to find the original amount of money, M, that he had in his pocket. Can you follow along? So the original amount of money that he had in his pocket is M. All right, so I'm going to ask you if you understand what we just did. So we found the numbers that we knew. So we know that Jordan gave him 50 cents. We know that Ashton has $1.60 after Jordan gave him that money. So those are the numbers we know. The variable, or the value that we don't know, is the amount of money, M, that Ashton had in his pocket in the beginning. So we know that he winds up with $1.60. We know that Jordan gave him 50 cents, but we don't know what he started off with. So that is the variable, or the value that we don't know. Okay, so I want to make sure everybody has that written down. So 20 more seconds. Quickly, quickly, quickly. Total. We have $1.60 total. All right. So now we've looked at the numbers from our problem. So we know that Jordan gave him 50 cents. So when he goes out to nutrition to get his snack, Ashton has $1.60. So what we're looking for, what the variable in our problem is going to be, is M, so the letter M, which represents the amount of money that Ashton had to start out with. So he started out with some amount in his pocket, and then Jordan gave him 50 cents, so he had $1.60 at the beginning. Ashton, I don't hear. Step 2. So after we figure out the numbers and what our variable is, we move on to step 2.